everyone, and welcome to the 8th Annual Youth Empowerment Summit. I'm Alexis Jones, PR and Development Manager here at Louisville Central Community Centers, and we are happy to have each and every one of you be a part of this amazing event. Just a little bit of background on why we decided to host this event. Like many adults, we heard of JCPS policy changes, but we realized that there was a voice missing in this conversation about policy, and that is the children. And so we want to provide a platform where children can share their feelings, share their thoughts, and maybe share even some concerns. And then after they do that, then come up with some solutions that they would like to see the upcoming school year. So it's going to be an amazing event. We have really great speakers coming in today, vendors, and lots of food. So definitely come on down. We're just so happy to have you here.
We need to get her that shirt. Oh yeah, 502.
So this is a long list, and not everybody can ask.
Okay, hi, my name is Alondra Martinez. I am a Student Success Coordinator with Evolve 502. Evolve 502 is a nonprofit organization, and our main goal is basically to remove the systemic barriers that prevent students from attending college. The Evolve 502 scholarship is a last dollar scholarship that is available for students who are JCPS students who are able to fill out the FAFSA and who want to attend a community college. We offer 2 years free college to any community college in Kentucky, and as well as Simmons College of Kentucky.
Hello, I am Donna Soul, and this is Brittany Conley, and we are referral development specialists with Bridgehaven Mental Health Services. Bridgehaven is our CEO says, we're a gymnasium for the mind. So we do have traditional therapy, but we're known for our therapeutic program. So, and everything that we do is it helps people work through their mental health issues. So we're not any better than anyone else, but nobody else has what we have. We have things such as art therapy and pet therapy and music and comedy, in addition to the traditional groups, men and women's groups, depression and anxiety, etc. It's a wonderful outpatient facility on 1st Street down here in Louisville, Kentucky, and 18 and over are the folks that we serve, and we have an employment team as well. It is a wonderful place, and we hope that folks will look into Bridgehaven. Thank you.
Hello, we're with the Bookworks, and we're located in the Beachmont Community Center next to Iroquois Park. We do education advocacy in 5 different groups. That's juvenile justice, homeless houselessness, online learners, multilingual learning, and kids in foster care. As education advocate, we try to minimize educational disruptions through choosing the best path for the learners and with their parents on how to be successful in life. But Darby here is going to talk a little bit more about our engagement sites coming up here in the fall.
Yeah, so at the Bookworks we also have daytime spaces for young people who are out of school on school days if they're experiencing chronic absences, gaps in enrollment, suspensions, or online learning. So we'll have 2 sites that are opening up in the fall, one at the Neighborhood House in Portland neighborhood, and then one at Americana in the Iroquois neighborhood. So these are sites that young people can come, get academic support, and then also social emotional skill development. So again, working to reduce those barriers for young people as they get back into school.
Hi, my name is Devon Sorrell, also known as Miss D. I'm with the YMCA of Greater Louisville, specifically the Chestnut Street YMCA. I'm the Senior Director for our Youth Development Programs, as well as our Director for our YMCA Black Achievers and Youth Achievers Program. I'm here today with some of our young Youth Achievers and Youth. One of my colleagues, Kelly Luckett, who is our Senior Director for our Community Integrated Health, who also oversees our Love Notes Workshop Series. So we're here today to to be a support to the community. The YMCA plays a pivotal role in the community. The things that the LCCC are doing are amazing, and so we're trying to come together just to collaborate and partner and do what we can to uplift the West End. Looking forward to opportunities to hear our young people have a sense of voice, give their opinion, provide mentorship, resources, and support that we can. So obviously, here we also have our table, and so we're hoping a lot of people come by and check out our resources. We have several programs and opportunities for our young people and adults for wellness, youth development, and leadership development. So just happy again to be here.
Good morning. I'm Kevin Garner, and I am the dual credit coordinator for Simmons College. And I'm here at the Youth Summit to possibly discuss students who are interested in being in our dual credit program, but also if they are out of high school or if they're thinking about having a HBCU experience. We offer that at Simmons, and this is what I'm coming to share.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Gregory. I am the director of the Black Film Institute at Simmons. I am here at the Youth Summit to support some of my former students at JCPS raise their voices for those issues. Thank you.
Short staff and dropping children off, one group at a time. So in the meantime, instead of doing a formal setting, we wanted to do one big group discussion. So if everybody doesn't mind, you guys are already gathered on this side. We're going to just gather a little bit closer. We're going to get some chairs, and we're just going to talk about solutions, talk about our feelings, talk about some of our thoughts about JCPS policy changes. And just express ourselves together. Okay? Does that sound good? All right.
Good morning. I want to check and see if it had become noon. I should say good afternoon, but good morning, everybody. Let me first thank Alexis and Destiny for organizing this youth summit, and I want to thank all of you for being here. So we're getting off to a slower start than what we had planned, but we're going to make up ground quickly. So I'm going to be brief, right? But just to give you a little bit of background as to what brought us to today, this is the 8th consecutive year that our organization has organized the Youth Empowerment Summit. And we've touched on many issues over those 8 years. And the issue that was trending most this year, we thought, and we heard from others in our community, was what's happening in the school district around some of the policy shifts that all of you as students will be learning about and following because it will be the policies that will govern, your day-to-day experiences in the school system. Everything from, what bus to get on and what time to get on the bus and, what classes to go to, whether or not you can bring a phone into the classroom. All of these things are happening, there's a lot of policy shifts that are underway. And you all may not be as aware of those, but this is an opportunity to raise your awareness about some of that. So we're glad to have great leadership here. Certainly want to thank the leadership of Jefferson County Public Schools Board of Education. Dr. Corrie Shull is here as the chair. Let's give him a hand. Teachers Association is here. Kumar Rashad, thank you, Mr. Rashad. And so we got all of these partners. I know you guys are working with a lot of different organizations as children, as young people, as leaders, as our future. So we want to make sure that you are around, leaders that can really wrap their arms around you and nurture you and help you to understand what to expect. Because no matter, how young you are, you have an experience and we value your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions as you go through those experiences. We had 6 children here. We just left here a few minutes ago. The age is 5 years of age, right? They're from our University Child Development Center. And they're about to graduate. So they were here doing their graduation rehearsal because next week they will be graduating. And so in their absence, give them a hand, they're going to be graduating. Because when they graduate from university, that means they're on their way to kindergarten to begin their journey. You all are already ahead of that, so you kind of know what to expect. So some of the things that you're going to be talking about today is not only about what affects you, but also what affects other students in the school system, as well as what affects students that are coming behind you, right? Because the experiences that you have, somebody else is subject to have those same experiences. So we want you to learn, be engaged, and enjoy. This is a Friday, it's summertime, we want you to have a little bit of fun, but also this is an educational forum. So I'm going to kick it back to a leader. I go to Elliott next, right? A leader who, when I met Elliott Kelly, where is he? Where's he at? There he is, all right. When I met him, he was round about you all's age. He was coming up, and I have to give this quick testimony. We, Dr. Shull, were working with Jefferson County Public Schools at the time during my activity at Wooten Urban. And I worked closely with Dr. Joe McMillan. If anybody knows Dr. Mack, I dubbed him as the ultimate educator, right? He had educated for over 50 years in multiple states. And there was one Saturday morning program experience that he came and talked about. He came into my office on Monday. And he talked about what had happened this past Saturday. This was several years ago. And Doc said, I don't know what's going on with our boys, but I've been educating for over 50 years, and I don't know, we've got to do something about our boys. And out of that need statement that he expressed, emerged a program called the Street Academy. And so there was a vision of Dr. Joe McMillan working alongside Dr. Bernard Menace with the school system, Auckland Burton with the school system, myself and my CEO at the time, Ben Richmond. We created the Street Academy. And here comes this young guy, about that tall. He's a little bit taller now, he's a little taller than he was. Elliott was a kid that really just commanded attention by his way of leading, even amongst his peers. I forget how old he was, maybe 7 or 8, 9 or 10, somewhere in there. He can tell the story better than me. But I want to introduce Elliott Kelly because he has been for us in this business of community-based education programs, what we call the ideal success story, because he comes through programs, and we were just one of many programs that his mom and dad brought to, but he talks about how programs, as he was going to pour into him,
going on? How y'all feeling? So what I'm not going to do is talk your heads off today about something high level, right? So I guess tell you a little bit about myself again. So Mr. Fields, appreciate the introduction. My name is Elliott Kelly. So the most important thing about me is I'm from Louisville, born and raised. Right? I grew up on 23rd and Auburn, 40th and Elliott, and I lived on Cecil Greenwood my whole life. I spent living in the West End, and I think the most powerful part of that is a lot of people look at that as people in the West End can't be successful, and I'm the exact opposite of that. Right? People that come from where we come from, and we got so much opportunity. People come from where we come from, we have everything that we need to succeed in life. So in high school, I went to Central High School, I went to the University of Louisville. And today, the goal of today, me coming to talk to y'all today is really not about me and just telling my story and bragging about the things that I've done. That's not why I'm here. If I was to do that, it wouldn't benefit you all, but what I want to talk to you all today is about you and how you all have the capacity and the ability to lead in the same ways that I have. So a couple of interesting things about me. In 2019, so I ended up going to Oakland, California with the Obama Foundation. I got to meet Barack Obama actually. I spoke at one of his events, and I ended up closing the event. Somebody that went with me is actually in the room. Nigel over here in the corner, man. Nigel, man, that's my brother. In 2020, man, I led an event series on black men and wellness, right? Just black men and mental health, ways that we can help each other. And I'm just going on and on to really be an asset to my community now. I work for Central High School. I coach wrestling at Central. I work for Metro United Way, so I'm doing some equity and neighborhood work, mentoring young black men. And most importantly, I just try to be a person for the people at the end of the day. And today I want to talk about leadership. Everybody say leadership. Leadership. So something that I believe is that with a lot of people, when we think about leadership, what we think of is that we need some special skill set. That we need some special ability, but in all reality, that's not true. So I'm going to have all the young, anybody under the age of 18 in the room, when I ask this question, I want you to just call out an answer. So just name a leader that you can think of. Name somebody you look at as a leader. It doesn't have to, it can be somebody you know, or just somebody that you look up to. Name somebody that's a leader. Can I say it loud, man? I appreciate that, man. But name some other people, somebody that you think of as a leader. It could be a teacher. It could be somebody that works at your school. It could be somebody in this room. It could be a pastor of a church. And I really want you to think about what makes that person a leader, right? Often when we think about what makes that person a leader, it's the ability to speak. They can speak and command the room and capture people really well. Or maybe their ability to organize a program like Alexis and Destiny did today, right? Because they're leaders for sure. And maybe the ability to lead and organize people like Keyshawn Johnson does in the back. He does it for sure. Maybe the ability to inspire people like Love does in the back. And she's an amazing artist and inspires people day to day. Right? So when we think about leaders in the room, some of the people that led me are actually here today. So I want to talk about a few special people that have led me. I want to talk about Maria Johnson. So when I was young in middle and high school, Maria actually was one of the people that helped me overcome my fear of public speaking. She gave me some tools that I still use to this day to help me get in front of people like you all and just speak and open up and really just create a safe space. Maria gave me a lot of those tools. Kevin Fields in the back. He's one of the people that always reminded me that you don't have to be like anybody else. You can just be the best version of you that you can be, and that's enough. He always reminded me that I was enough. Dr. Shull in the back, he's not my pastor, but he is somebody that I highly respect in the city. Not just as a pastor, even though he's an amazing pastor at Burnett Avenue Baptist Church, but Pastor Shull's also just, he's great in the community, he cares about people. Jacoby Gallup, man, one of the biggest hearts out of everybody I know, right? So when we talk about leadership is not just about having a special skill set and being able to do a lot of things. Leadership is about just how you move in the world. Maria Johnson cared about me, and that's why I look at her and I look up to her as a leader. Dr. Shull cares about everybody that he comes across. He's the pastor of the church and he speaks, and he's very knowledgeable and brilliant, but he doesn't have his doctorate just because of things that he's done. He has it in everything that he learned. He uses to care about people, right? Messiah Pearl, somebody I just met today, but everything that I've always heard about him is how great he is, but the stories that people tell aren't about just some high-level things that he's done. It's all about how he cares about people. Right? So I just want to ask everybody here today, how can you, not only just how can you lead and show up, but just in what ways can you better care about people in your life day to day? Whether it be making somebody smile, Whether it be just making somebody's day, helping somebody feel better, right? How can you help people? And that is how you find your outlet of leadership. The whole goal of the event today is not just to talk about how to do things at a high level. It's to really talk about our experiences and open up. So today, as we go through today, I really want you all to be intentional about and very, very purposeful about the way that you all speak, telling your stories and telling your experiences, because today is not about me. It's not about everybody standing in the back. Today is about you all. Today is about giving you all a chance to step up and lead. So we just want to hear about your stories, your experiences, right? So even though I'm up here talking right now as the keynote speaker and I'll be doing the panel later, the only reason I'm able to do those things is because when I was your age, I showed up, right? So one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give anybody in this world is to show up. That's how you be a leader. When I was 14 or 15 years old, right, whether it was just in my family or it was in my school or just in my community, man, whenever somebody needed me, I just showed up. How can I help you? I showed up and I cared about people, right? Whether that be just giving somebody a talk, making them feel better, being somebody that they can being somebody to listen to, that they can open up to. And now, it's actually the work that I do. I create programs built around people doing that exact same thing. That's what I do for a living now. Is I help people create space and I show up. Just helping people learn how to show up. That's what I do for a living, right? When I went to college, I was a mentor on my college campus. I was an orientation leader, and all these big words and titles. The biggest thing is I help people learn the ropes. I help people learn how to be successful. I help people learn the tools that they need to succeed and overcome struggles. Because we all struggle. We all fall short sometimes, right? So everything that I've done in there, it wasn't just about the title. It was about the way that I did it. I just cared about people. So there are a few things I want you all to take away as it comes to learning how to lead, right? There's a few things I want you all to remember. One, sometimes you're going to struggle and fall short. You're never going to be perfect. There's no perfect time to lead. If you wait until you have all the right tools, or you wait until you learn a certain thing and get your life in order, you'll never do it. You will never step up if you wait until you got all the right tools. Figure out what you can do today. Figure out how you can help people and figure out how you can serve people today, because our leadership is a service. It's not about your name and the title. It's not about leadership. It's partially about you, because you have to have something to give, but it's really about the fact that you're giving. That's what it's about. We all have something to give, even if it's not a resource like money, or it's not necessarily something that we can just take out of our pocket and give somebody. We all have love to give people. Maybe being a leader is giving somebody a hug. Maybe being a leader is just when everybody's doing the wrong thing, you decide to do the right thing, so that when people see you and decide to make a better decision. Sometimes that's being a leader. It's not always easy, so you're going to struggle, you're going to fall short. Just learn from your struggles, right? So number one, you will fail sometimes and you will fall short, but failure is not the last mistake that you'll ever make. You'll always have an opportunity to be better. So just keep learning. Two, leadership is service. So again, leadership is not about being in the front and being celebrated and all of that feels great, but leadership is not about that. Being a leader is just about helping people and serving. So just showing up is the best version of saying, how can I serve somebody? And the third thing I want you all to remember is that I want to ask you all a very specific question. And that question is, who are you? The question I want to ask you all is, who are you? I'm going to tell you all a story about a young man who actually just graduated high school, man. He was one of the best football players in the state of Kentucky. He won offers going into his senior year. So, man, he was good. He was going to get a full ride, going to the league and all that. Beginning of the season, he tore his ACL. Everything that he thought he was as an athlete stripped away from him just like that. Stripped away from him just like that. He became depressed. And recently in that conversation, man, he's a lot happier, he's in better spirits, he still don't play football, but one thing he told me was that, man, I lost everything I was so that I could find who I am. So when I ask you who are you, often we think of who we are in terms of one or two things that we do. Growing up, man, when I was in high school, I wrestled in high school. I was a wrestler, so I looked at myself as an athlete. I've been doing public speaking since a young age, so I looked at myself as a speaker. I had a 4.0, so I'm a scholar. But there was a point in my life where all those things got taken from me. Right? Every time I got injured, I couldn't wrestle. There were points in times in college where my grades dropped a little bit. So am I still a scholar? There were points in times where I may not be able to speak to people as much. Am I still a speaker? Am I all of these things, right? But what I realized is that who I am is not based on just those things that I do. Right? I want to ask you a question. What parts of yourself translate into everything that you do? So as an athlete, I'm not just a wrestler that wins matches. I'm competitive, and I'm a competitive. So that means that everything I do, I want to do at the highest level. That relates to everything I do. As a public speaker, I'm not just somebody that can say the right things and speak well. I'm somebody that cares about the way that I communicate with people. I'm somebody that listens. And I'm somebody that just wants to tell people the things that they need to hear, and sometimes tell people the things that just make them feel better, empower them, right? I don't have to be on the stage to do that. I can do that with my cousins and my family and my friends every single day, right? So I want to ask you, what parts of yourself show up? So when somebody asks me who I am, in the past I would have said I'm a wrestler, I'm a speaker, I'm a scholar, I'm all of these things, but now I'm going to tell you I'm just somebody that loves people. Dr. Shull, if you ask him what he does, he'll tell you, he'll run a resume. He'll tell you everything that he's ever done in his life, but if you ask him who he is, he'll be like, man, I'm just somebody that I care about people. And it shows up in everything that he does. Jacoby Battery, he's a founder and CEO of a nonprofit in the city that's really impacting young people. And if you ask him what he does, he'll tell you that. But if you ask him who he is, he'll be like, man, I'm a young dude trying to help people succeed. I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to say, or something along those lines, man. He cares about people. Keyshawn, the same thing. Keyshawn Johnson is a young man that's done so many amazing things, man. He's spoken at the White House. He's done a lot of amazing things. And so is love in the back, right? Both of them have done amazing things, and a lot of people, adults, haven't done it. And both of them are still in high school. If you ask them who they are, honestly, I care about people. I love people. And that's why I do everything that I do. So your identity is not just in what you do, it's in why you do it. So one, as a leader, sometimes you're going to fall short. That doesn't mean that you're not good enough. That just means you're learning and you're growing. So that's a beautiful thing. It means that you're pushing yourself. Two, leadership is all about service. So it's not about always being recognized, and just because your name is not at the front, it does not mean that you're not a leader. There's different types of leaders. Lead with your actions. Lead with the way that you show up. Even if you're only leading one person, or you show up and benefit one person, you are leading, you are powerful, you are doing everything that you can to make the world a better place. Then the third thing is your identity, man. Who are you? It's not just in the things that you do and the actions that you take. It's what parts of yourself and what values translate into everything that you do. Are you caring? Are you kind? Are you willing to help people? Are you willing to make yourself uncomfortable sometimes if it means benefiting everybody around you? And of course, honor yourself and help yourself, because you have to have something to give other people at the same time, right? You have to give to yourself so you have something to give. But the most important part of leadership and identity is in the fact that you're giving something. And that something is not always a tangible, specific item like money or resources. Sometimes it's leading people, loving people, and who you are is just to give you your time. It's to give your heart to people. And that's sometimes the hardest thing that you can ever do in your life, but that's what it means to lead. So with that, I'm going to conclude the rest of my time, and I'm going to turn it back over to Alexis and Destiny. But remember, man, you all are leaders today, so all the young people in the room, I want you to say, I am. Now, say a little bit loud, I am a leader. I am strong, I am powerful, I am kind, I can do anything I put my mind to. And something that's really important is that you don't have to wait until you're 25, 30, 40, 50 years old to do those things. You can be strong, powerful, kind, courageous, intelligent, and do anything you put your mind to today, right now. So when you leave today, so as you go through today, be intentional about opening up, sharing your experiences, and saying what you think will help people, because I promise you it's valuable. As you go through life, man, whatever you do in this world, man, I promise you, you have the ability to benefit people wherever you're at. But you have to make the choice to do those things, and that's what makes you a leader. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Elliott Kelly, for that phenomenal introduction. Please do not forget our amazing community partner resources over here that you guys can visit throughout the summit today. I want to first introduce Mr. Eddie Tinsley. He is our moderator and our speaker. We're going to get started with our subject matter expert panel. So can we give a round of applause to Mr.
So as our panel comes up, I just wanted to create some ground rules for everybody, right? Everybody paying attention to me, Brian? Y'all can hear me. If you can hear me, stand on your feet. Stand up. Stand up. Okay, so what I'd like to do, I noticed some of you look like brain is the control center for our bodies. But guess what connects our brain to the rest of our body? It's our neck. So if you're leaning over, if you hunch down, you're really disconnecting or impeding the control of your brain to the rest of your body. And you're feeling tight because of that. I want everybody to sit straight up. Almost as you sit straight up, because the information that you get, you got to receive it. And you're going to receive it by being alert. And if you lean over, you think you're tired, leaning over only makes you more tight. Sit straight up in your chairs. Anybody that leans over, we're going to tap you on the shoulder so that you can come to attention, all right? We got an agreement? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hand up if you agree with what I said. Hand up, everybody. All right, there you are.
All right, so I know we're going to, a little offset, we're going to have some more people come and fill in this area, so we're going to do this from up here. But again, as everybody said, very excited to see you all here, taking the time during the summer to kind of take ownership over your destiny, really, and over your education and over your lives. There's a lot of, Mr. Fields spoke to a lot of really important policies that they kind of happen. They happen in front of our face, but in a way, they kind of happen behind the scenes as well. And we really want to take this time to, one, educate ourselves and educate each other about the different policies and the different things that are going on that impact your day-to-day lives going into the next school year and impact the quality of your education. But then also to help, to Elliott's point, to empower you all to be leaders and to take some ownership and think about ways that you could effectively advocate for yourselves and effectively advocate for better outcomes for yourself, better education for yourself, but just a better day-to-day experience, getting on the bus, going to school, getting the support that you need and all those things. So we have a panel of experts, community leaders, administrators, a really great group of people to kind of help set the table for us and give us the information that we need and have a really good substantive discussion about all these things. Are you not able to hear me?
No.
That's my fault. Okay. So, all that being said, we're going to talk about the education system and how it's impacting you and how you can feedback and impact it. That's just the long and short of the summary. So what I want to do is, before we get into it, I want to give each of the panelists the opportunity just to introduce yourselves, as kind of your name and your role, just anything else you want to share, and then we'll jump into the topics. Start with you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here with you. My name is Corrie Shull. I serve as the pastor of the Baptist Church here in Louisville, and also the chair of the Jefferson County Board of Education. Again, it's good to be here.
Hello, everybody. I got some of my peoples in here, so assalamu alaikum to my folks over this way. My name is Kumar Rashad. I'm the vice president of Jefferson County Teachers Association, the teaching union in town. And I'm just definitely glad to be here to share whatever I know with you all and be able to help you all in any way that I personally can. So, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiara Gray, and I'm the Education Policy Strategist at the Louisville Link, as well as a former JCPS teacher. And I'm really excited to support students in any way and activate and engage them in their roles as stakeholders.
Good afternoon. My name is Kamari. I'm the executive director at the YMCA on Chestnut Street, and I'm just happy to be here to add some value and give my perspective on some things from around.
Awesome, thank you all. So we'll start off talking about school assignment, right? The process by which it's determined what school you're able and have the opportunity to go to. Can someone maybe set the table for us by talking about the neighborhood-based school assignment process that's currently in place and how that impacts diversity and equitable access to education for students and for our students? maybe a good way to level set, even if it's just providing some facts about how that's currently set up, the way your neighborhood determines what school you're able to go to, and maybe the way the magnet schools kind of play into that. So I want to make sure at first we just set the table with just understanding the facts of how that works. And if you want to provide some commentary around how you feel about that system and some of the pros and the cons of that, definitely open to that as well.
Guess I'll start off here. A few years ago, the board agreed on changing our student assignment plan from what it was to the system that we have right now, which is clusters. And in these clusters, it's a group of high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools that you're able to go to, that students are able to go to depending on what area you live in. You have, the intention was for every student to have choices within their clusters and not be relegated to having to only go to one home school. So in a sense, you have a system of home schools which was intended to bring diversity, a little more diversity and equity into this district by offering students and their parents more choices than what they had before. What was the other question?
And I think you touched on it, just how the role it plays in providing kind of equitable education and choices. So I think the cluster aspect kind of spoke to that.
I was looking here, I think, Mr. Rashad spoke to the clusters that comprise our district. I think one of the things that has been really important to understand over the last several years is that in 2022, the Board of Education voted to revisit and revise the student assignment plan, which now is developed in such a way that students who live in the West End can either choose schools that are close to their addresses, or they can choose to go to a school that may be connected to their cluster, but is also further away. This has helped us to achieve a greater level of equity and diversity, and also choice. Those choice zone schools have been given increased funding, they have smaller class sizes, they also provide the environment where families can be more involved, because if you go to a school that's near your home, your parents are more able to be at your events, to be at parent conferences, or just to pop up and see what's happening in the schools. And so that's one of the ways that the district here recently has sought to create a system that is more equitable and that is more accessible to every student that is enrolled in JCPS.
That's helpful. So maybe we can go into, and Kiara, to make up you on this, is talk a little bit about the role that magnet schools play in this picture, in this mosaic. I know that they're designed to kind of provide specialized programs that attract diverse student bodies, but I'll give you the opportunity to kind of speak to that.
Yes, so there's a handful of magnet schools at each level, the elementary, middle, and high school level, that offer specialized programs and opportunities for students to have access to different certifications, different types of learning, different types of learning environments. And that does add a little bit extra, choice, but also extra things to take into consideration when offering access and opportunity to students in those magnet schools, like transportation and making sure that students every area within the district have opportunity and equal access, equitable access to all of those programs. Right now we're seeing that that might be taken away, and that only those families that can provide their students with transportation to those learning programs will continue to have access to them.
So, and this may be more towards people who are more closely involved with the school district, but what specific strategies are being implemented to ensure equitable access to magnet schools for all students, and how their effectiveness to be measured?
Well, some of the measures of Board of Education has implemented to ensure greater access is centralizing magnet school quality. So your admission to magnet schools is no longer determined at the school level. It is is determined at the district level through a lottery, which is a more fair process, and it ensures that access to magnets are more equitable. Another thing that the district has tried to do is to implement whole school magnets, and so we're phasing out the magnets within residing school program. And so there were several schools that had magnets within them. They had very few seats, and because they had such few seats, there were a lot of students that were unable to gain admission into those magnets. What the district has moved to is what we call wall-to-wall magnets, and that's something that you will continue to see flourish in our district, and that will increase the number of students that magnet schools can accept, and will directly impact equity and access.
Appreciate that. Thank you. So I think the topic that is a hot topic right now and kind of dovetails into this is transportation, right? So it plays a huge role in supporting our sensibility to successfully and safely access their education, and in many ways it can unfortunately have a huge impact on equitable access to education as well. Maybe we'll just start off by, if someone would want to go into just detailing, there's been a lot in the news, a lot going on around changes to the transportation system, changes to the busing system, and I think there's an attempt to balance, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a struggle between the attempt to balance. Oh, my apologies. We want to balance the ability for children to get to school on time, and for the routes and the bus drivers, make sure we have adequate resources to get everyone to school on time, and balancing that with getting equitable access to magnet schools and maintaining that level of choice. Someone maybe speak to kind of what the current landscape is, and maybe provide some context into what's going on in that space right now.
I can't speak to the total landscape, but I'll tell you how it's affecting us at the YMCA on Chestnut Street as being a hub for a lot of students to get to certain schools with the transportation. And we have traditionally might have over 25 schools where they can use our address to be able to go to different schools. That has been taken away. So now we're down probably about 8 to 10 schools, in which dropping our enrollment numbers is affecting families from having before and after school care. Some people, that might be the first meal they get access to before school. Before they get there to have lunch there. So you think about those, the West End being the food insecurity, things of that nature. So it's just a trickle down effect of what's going on. And so we're really seeing a lot of parents, a lot of kids that's going to be affected by this. Usually we have right now close to 100, or a little bit over 100 kids before and after school. Right now our enrollment numbers is like 40. So that's 60 families that's going to be affected by that, by these decisions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying just a little bit of background. Dr. Polio has met a lot of Superintendent Dr. Polio has met, Marty Polio has met a lot of presentations throughout the city, and to legislators of Frankfurt, where he details how we started off with about a few years ago, 800 to 900 bus drivers, and right now, months ago, we updated us, we were closer to about 500, and we had a deficit of bus drivers, because we have a deficit of bus drivers that persuaded the board to cut routes. Routes had to be cut, and unfortunately, the routes that were chosen were routes to magnet schools, and magnet schools are the schools like, you go to Central High School, they have a grade law program there. They also have a grade law program over there in Seneca. You have some, great welding and electrical classes over there in Iroquois and some other schools. And those are specialized fields, specialized parts of education, what you want to do when you grow up. So a lot of folks have their buses cut to those magnet programs, and a lot of those folks look like us in this room, just to be plain and specific. And that's problematic because these magnet schools have a way of giving you an edge, giving you the kids, giving y'all an edge. You know, you're able to get into your profession a little bit quicker, and then you know a little bit more than folks who are the same age as you. Those magnet schools really help out. And you know, there's a famous person that you all have to read about, W.E.B. Du Bois. There's a school named after him, W.E.B. Du Bois, who coined the term talented 10. His talented 10 says that he feels that 10% of the black population are going to be the ones who rise to the cream of the crop and are really going to reach back and help everybody else. For me, I feel like cutting out these magnet schools cuts out many and a lot of our talented 10. So, you know, we really got to really try to define how we're going to really address this program. I know the district has implemented some tools to help out. There's stipends for parents to get, you know, $5 a day for each kid, unless, you know, you got other circumstances, then they, you know, get $10 a day. And that to help out with transportation costs to get to magnet school. So those are challenges that we all have to face because a lot of us, you know, a lot of people who are black, brown, or socioeconomically low, you know, really have a lot of hard time struggling, working, going to work every single day, and getting the kids to school, especially if you got more than one. When you got more than one, they go to two different schools. Now you got to drive all the way across town in two different ways, trying to fulfill that magnet gap. So I know that JCPS has also reached out to TARP drivers as well. Really reached out to TARP drivers and been able to create a collaboration with the TARP drivers in order to get a lot more bus drivers to help us within our system. So there's a lot to play. You know, there's a lot of work right now, a lot to play with. You know, just found out yesterday, or was it the day before, that there was a lawsuit, a restraint. The parents went to court to get a restraint on this bus program, but the judge overturned that, I believe, yesterday. So, but they may go back into that. So might have to see how the courts play into this as well.
No, thank you for that context. That's really helpful. One other topic that I think dovetails into this is school start times, right? Can you speak to I guess a strategy or how the change in school start times potentially helps play into balancing those concerns, or some of those transportation concerns, some of those access concerns?
Yeah, definitely the school start time. The school start times being staggered, that's a better word, being staggered. I think this past year we had a lot of staggered times, at least about 8 different starting times. And I think that this year has been condensed to a lot less, 3 different starting times this year. And that is, specifically so we can get students to school on time. Is what the intention is to be, so we can get students to school on time, so that if I'm a bus driver and I'm taking a group of kids to school at this time, the early start time, 7:30, like where my school starts at Breckenridge Metropolitan High School, get there at 7:30. Then once they do that, then they have time to go back and pick up another group of kids and get them to school at, say, 8:30 or whatever the later starting times are. So that's I think is really the brainchild behind the staggered times, because we got fewer bus drivers. We got to use those fewer bus drivers. Use those fewer bus drivers to take more routes during the course of the day.
They want to go back. Are y'all still up here? As we talk about that, maybe go back to the magnet school. I don't want to say versus neighborhood school discussion, but the school mix discussion. Can someone speak to any measures that are being taken to ensure that while magnet schools have a specialized purpose and intent, the neighborhood schools are still able to provide the same quality of education to the students who attend those and aren't able to attend the magnet school. Does someone speak to measures that are being taken or measures that should be taken to ensure an equitable quality of education, right? Even if there's differentiation and specialization, right? And equity and quality, and they speak to how those measures either are being measured or could or should be measured.
Well, I think that one misunderstanding is that magnet school equals a better school or a higher quality school. What magnet schools essentially provide is a specialization in certain interests. And so you have, for instance, YPADs, which is a magnet school for students who are interested in the arts. Every student is not interested in the arts. I'm glad that we have a school for students who are interested in the arts, and they're able to receive specialized instruction. As it relates to ensure what our goal is to ensure that every school, magnet or reside, has high quality instruction for every single student. One of the metrics that we're using to measure the quality of what's happening in classrooms day in and day out, whether reside or magnet, is our college and career readiness percentages. And what we have noticed over the last, what the data has shown us has demonstrated over the last several years is because of the academies, the Wooten program, because of other specialized focuses in our school buildings, we've been able to increase the percentage of students graduating college and career reading. Now we're at around 85%. That's one of the, I think, metrics that we really need to pay attention to as it relates to the quality of what's happening in the building. So, yes, you have schools like Central that are doing extraordinary work in their nursing program and their law program. It is a magnet school, but you also have residing schools that are doing tremendous work that are providing pathways and opportunities a variety of things. We have 125 business partners who provide these academic programs throughout the residing schools all across the district. And now you can participate in a pathway not just in high school, but in middle school. So in middle school, we have students who are beginning to explore interest in coding and a variety of other options. So those are two ways that the district is really attempting to increase the quality of what happens in the of type of school.
There are definitely some things that can be done at the school level as well as the district level in ensuring that we get more staffing in each building and more staffing in our underserved buildings. We're seeing that a big difference between our magnet and our quote-unquote home schools is that they are fuller staff with not only bodies in general, but certified teachers, which does assist in some of the classroom behaviors and some of the student issues that we are seeing across the board. But there are some things that we can do as well, which is how, one of the biggest things is how we talk about the schools that students attend throughout our city, right? Those of us who've grown up in Louisville, I graduated from JCPS, I've taught in JCPS for the last 6 years, right? When we talk about certain schools, there are certain comments and concerns that are brought up, right? When we talk about our magnet schools, right? And the prestige that comes with them because of the access and opportunity that comes with them. But like Elliott Kelly has said, there are amazing students, amazing educators, and amazing opportunities in all of the buildings that are in JCPS. So when someone's asking, or when you're talking to someone and you ask them the very old question of where did you go to school, and they tell you where they went to school, right? Ask them how that experience was. Don't just say like, oh, you went there, or oh, that's really cool, like I know someone from there too, right? Ask them, well, what did you do there? What were classes like? What was your day-to-day like? Right? I've had students at Valley who take some so successful by lack of design, right? They're working and they're succeeding on purpose, right? And some of our other schools are not succeeding and not doing as well as we might hope, again, on purpose. We can have conversations around what is needed in those spaces and how we as a community can try to fill some of those gaps.
I want to piggyback off that. Not being from Louisville, my daughter went to school at Low Elementary, and then we were looking at, so she's in dance and arts, and we were looking at Western Middle School and what's the other one? Right by the bell. No, and no middle school. So just kind of getting those experiences, hearing from different parents, where we should go. But the unique thing is I was able to talk to the previous principal about Western. You know, they're going to say, oh, you might want to go no instead of Western. Well, my daughter's going to Western, you know, so that's what my daughter's doing. So just when you said that, it struck me and said, that's right. That's what I did. I asked a few different parents from different experiences, and we went and toured the building, and we felt comfortable, and that's the decision we made. So my 6th grader will be in Western. And I look forward to her having that experience.
So, I was in context, I'm not from Louisville either. The topic I want to touch on is student achievement gaps. I think it's interesting, the discussion you all just had, right, is there potentially, and I know demographically there are real student achievement gaps, potentially, and I don't know this, I'm offering this as a question of bias, there may be real or perceived student achievement gaps across these different schools, which I feel like is kind of part of the undercurrent of some of that conversation there in terms of the school we're going to. So is there, maybe speak about some of the things that JCPS is putting into place to, my understanding there's strategies, some innovative strategies that JCPS has put in place to address some of those student achievement gaps. And I guess I'll also open it up to those who maybe aren't part of JCPS to speak about ideas or solutions or even metrics that should be used to kind of measure how effectively we're closing those gaps. Is that fair?
In the classrooms as teachers, each year we have to look at the scores of each one of our students on any of the state assessments that they have to take. We have to look at the scores of each one of our students. We have to help our students set goals to make higher achievement for the following year. And we have to work towards those goals of achievement because a lot of times we're able to break these tests down into different things. You know, maybe some of y'all are good at addition, better at addition than subtraction. Some of y'all are better at division instead of multiplication. I'm a math teacher, so that's why I'm going straight into math. And these type of things, are things we have to look at. How do we get students to be more effective? So we have to do a lot of. So there are different strategies. There are pull-out strategies where you pull students out and you work with them in smaller groups. There are other strategies where you push in more experts into the class to help while you're facilitating instruction. JCPS also does something every year. They have a backpack league in the summer. Backpack league is full of different skills. You know, we talked about a lot of students, especially this past year, who may have missed a lot of instructional time due to things beyond their control. You know, buses and different things like that. It's all good. I'm cool with the kids. Love y'all. But yeah, different things, different strategies. But these backpack leagues help are designed to help fill in some of these gaps, to help tutor and get kids together where they need to be. But I think, you know, the bigger question about the achievement gap is what exactly is the gap? Because a lot of times we're measuring our students on a test that wasn't designed for them. When we're talking about standardized achievement, standardized, these all come from an old science called eugenics, which was really used to see, which was really put in place to show that black folks and other marginalized communities aren't as smart as our white counterparts. That's where a lot of these tests really come from. And when we look at these tests, I see these babies in front of me that look so beautiful, and I know that some of them probably in the second, might be even in the third grade. And we start taking these tests around the age of these babies right here in front of me. And based off a lot of these test scores, this is not a myth, a lot of these test scores are used to determine how many prisons will be built. So as far as trying to face equity, you know, one thing we've really got to refocus on, what does achievement really mean? Does it mean passing a bubble test that may or may not, you know, these bubble tests, they don't really show me what you know. Now, oftentimes they can show me what you don't know, but they don't show me what you know. And we really got to really look at how we look at how we're assessing these students. We got to get to a bigger picture where we're assessing the whole child. How are you with your public speaking? How are you with your relationship building? You know, I hear a lot of people talk about the learning that students lost during COVID, but no one really talks about the learning that students gained during COVID. There was a lot of learning gained during COVID, and we're not benefiting because we're not putting that emphasis on, okay, you're only reading, writing, and arithmetic, but there's so much learning that goes beyond that. I see some babies in front of me right now drawing art. Where is that? Where's the measurement for that art aptitude and your different, you know, creative science aptitudes? We really need to start focusing on how we can measure those, what they call soft skills, and you know, in addition to the hard skills that we're measuring. And I don't even know if I'm still on the same topic that I started on.
Very much on topic, and part of it is appears to be gaps in how we measure it, right? Which is an important thing, right? So a lot of these things we're talking about are some of these things. Some are real, some are perceived, and most of them are both, right? Somewhere between where there's a reality, there's a perception, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. So talking about the issue, but then also talking about the metrics is I think a crucial aspect of it. So I appreciate it. Another area I know you in particular are passionate about is how we go about, and it's actually an area that's really easy to overlook. I think in recent times we've become more cognizant of mental health and how we provide social and emotional support to our students. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about how JCPS is going about doing that, and particularly, I don't want to limit you in this way, but you specifically have a question around how we're equipping like the teachers and the educators in the schools to be able to care for our children in that way in particular.
I think one of the best things that have happened as far as JCPS in the past few years is that almost all the schools have access to a mental health counselor. Some schools have 2 mental health counselors, but these people are very imperative to bringing up the culture of the school, to addressing student issues. I teach at Breckenridge Metropolitan High School, and we have 2 mental health counselors, and they really help out our students. They really help out. Not only do they help out our students in their day-to-day issues and deal with things that may be going on at home or in school, they also help, to your point, to your question, they also help us as educators deal with our students with the professional developments that they have during days when we come together. I think that an addition that needs to be added is we really need to look at all of our college training prep programs and really advocate to push more mental health care and advocacy as part of educator training programs from the very beginning, because that's where a lot of the lack is. You know, if I'm in school, I'm taught a little bit, maybe one class on cultural diversity, maybe one class, and if I'm taught different pedagogy on how to teach math, English, and all my different skills, but one thing that's not focused on in our teacher and educator preparation program is how to deal with social emotional health, how to deal with people in their mental learning and dealing with different issues because, we're not counselors, we're not mental health therapists, so we need way more training on that to address all the different social emotional issues that are going on within our building and in our community. So I definitely think that there's an opportunity there to push more of that learning in our teacher prep programs, but not only that, to also bring that to the forefront of professional development opportunities for those of us who are already in the educational program around mental health. I believe that you can get a mental health certificate from U of L with some training, so maybe we need to see if you will partner with U of L and those different schools to see if we can do a comprehensive training for our teachers and educators on as it relates to dealing with mental health issues within our classroom and our schools.
I would like to think the mental health practitioners in every building are very helpful, but we do need knowledge in every building. The 1 to 2, 300 of students, it is overwhelming them, and even some of our students must learn that they are doing. I've seen the work that many of them do. It is immediate, it is great work, and also the trauma-informed training that educators follow throughout here and using the information that students are carrying and thinking about the ACEs and first childhood experiences and how that affects every student and how we need to be taking that into consideration when interacting with students, but making sure that it is just intentional and continuously intentional of our practice and pedagogy is very important.
One more thing is that also the requirement of social emotional health. In most schools, they have different organizations in which students can become, and maybe people become part of a team. That sense of belonging that students and kids want to have. Students want to belong. A lot of people join sports teams, football, basketball, track. Other people join academic teams, beta, social emotional teams. Support groups, Men Equality, Black Student Union, other different groups that create some sense of belonging. So I think that a lot of times that people's emotional health spirals when they're not connected, when they're not feeling like they have a group, they have their own tribe to be with. So we've got to identify students and what their skill capacity are, what type of group that you can be a part of, build some community within your community. You need that. Build the communities within your community. And if there is not a group that represents you at your school, you can create a group. I was talking to a sister earlier who was talking about creating an international group at a school and just felt the need for that. I mean, if that's not at your school, that's a great opportunity for you to create your group. There's groups in schools called student Christian athletes. You can create your own student Muslim athletes. I mean, create your own groups that really cater to you and that you can help bring some belonging to each other.
Thank you all for the really thoughtful responses. Again, like I said, not being a native of Louisville, I've learned a lot about schools and I'm navigating my children through the process. I've learned a lot. I do want to give a few minutes to open it up if there are any, let me ask Mr. Fields, Alexis, do we have time to take questions or
questions? This is your time to ask some of the experts on the stage if you want to know the upcoming school year, some of the policies you may see for the upcoming school year. If you have questions about your bus schedule, now's the time to ask any questions. Does anybody have any questions to ask? I have a question actually. So I saw on the news that JCPS will provide a stipend for parents to help them with gas, like $500. And I saw a couple parents saying that that's just simply not enough. Do you feel like there's a disconnect? Because JCPS seems very happy to announce that. The parents are just like, I'm not sure about this. So do you feel like there's a disconnect between what the parents want and what JCPS is giving?
There's been a little bit of disconnect going on through this whole process. I don't feel like a lot of community members feel like their voice was being heard throughout this process, or that all of the logistics were well thought out. There's a lot of work to be done. So there's definitely a disconnect
that was kind of the opposite of what community was saying, but the options that were somewhat presented, I don't want to speak for.
I just want to say the brother Corrie Shull right here to my left really voted with the community and really kept really uplifted you all. So I just want to give a little hand right here to this brother. He worked hard, man. I mean, he worked hard. He had a lot of challenges. He's one person. He can't just control everybody on that board. He sets a good example. He leads with class, and he's really on the side of the people. So we have an outlier.
Representing the University of Louisville. I'm in the Office of Admissions, specifically for diversity recruitment. It's great to be back in the city. I just recently started in June, so it's great to see so many folks. It's great to be home. So my question would be, I know that the panel, I know that you all are actively involved in the community, and my question is what can local D1 research institutions like U of L do to help support underrepresented minority students? How can we better help? So just looking for some advice, looking for some direction, and we always want to partner, we always want to be a resource, but my first thing is to ask you all, you guys are actively in the community, how can we do better to reach students and help them on their pathways to get to college?
I like to offer that definitely reach out to, of course, the standards, reach out to counselors, but then there's also other groups. You want to reach out to Black student union leaders within the district, inequality leaders within the district. But another thing that I have to uplift before I have to head out of here is that, and I think that this is something for everybody, I need everyone's help on, is to, in November, there's going to be a vote put on the ballot, House Bill Amendment 2. This House Bill Amendment 2 is a bill that's designed to take away money, public funds, from public schools, which primarily affect Black and brown kids, and give them to private schools, where students already have the money to go to these private schools. So that's going to be really devastating because as an educator, I'm already underfunded. Teachers aren't paid the way we're supposed to be paid, and we're not given the resources that we really need. The state denies giving us raises every year, although our school board does give us raises. So we have to look for them, and the state can give us more funding for more and better raises. But this House Bill Amendment 2 is going to be devastating. Because like I said, the school system's already underfunded, so we just need all hands and people on deck to vote no on this Amendment 2 in November. Get out there and talk to different folks about voting no, because again, just to put it in perspective, in Florida, this voucher, what this is a voucher system that they want to give parents money, perhaps give parents money for their kids to go to a private school. But if you give parents $2,000, $3,000 for a private school, but the private school costs $8,000, $9,000 to $10,000 in the first place, you're not going to those private schools. So when they use words like school choice, that means more choice for rich kids and less choice for Black, brown, and poor kids. So when you vote no in November to Amendment 2, you're voting yes to your community. A little bit of opposite. I don't want you to read the language of Amendment 2 and say, hey, this sounds nice, it says school choice. Remember what I said, it's not giving you school choice at all. Alright? Going to Florida passed this bill. 67% of the kids in Florida who are going to private school based off of these voucher systems were already going to private schools. So we're just giving our money to rich kids so they can go to better schools by themselves. So just remember to vote no in November. That's definitely something we can argue.
One thing I want from U of L that you can help us with as it relates to the issues. U of L will help JCPS tremendously by increasing capacity for teacher training. We have many professionals in our community who would like to begin a second career as an educator, but they lack requirements to do so. U of L School of Education particularly has a program that has helped us and is helping us, but if that program was expanded and the capacity to